Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You think that, Patty?
I agree.
All right, listen, I want to start with this. Oh, what a night. Watching Tottenham on a Tuesday night. You play
get out!
because you're
Get
fucking
out!
shy. What a feeling, what a night.
You can't then tell me that two players go out and you strengthened as well, and then all of a sudden your whole season crumbles. It's crazy. And to me, if Arsenal don't make top 4 this season, that is one of the biggest bottle jobs in recent Premier League history.
You run off.
But imagine me then turning around and saying, oh, you guys are celebrating today, but 3 weeks ago you were unhappy. That's football. But it doesn't make you a flip-flop fan.
Yeah,
You're
bro,
actually
like,
enjoying I'm not happy, man. I was underwhelmed. I was quite shocked when he was when we were linked to him. I mean, we had some big hitters in there originally, Conte, Poch, you know, so then to be then linked with Nuno and for him to get the nod over all the other guys.
Grin, almost as big as he is, because he's like 6'5". Very good friend, very good person. Previously of our channel friends Views TV is the one and only Patrick Tyrant.
Yes, what's happening, people? It's your boy Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, see the P. When you see the P, now represents T. Let's go. I think we're live. Yeah, man. I think we are live. What's happening, everyone? It's your boy Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, see the P. When you see the P, now it represents T. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Bank holiday Monday. For everyone that's tuning in the UK, I hope you're enjoying your bank holiday Mondays. Kind of a washout in London right now. It's been raining all day, but nevertheless, it's a day off from work. Hopefully you get to spend it with your friends, your family, your loved ones. And yeah, if football isn't going the way you want it to go right now, hopefully it's a time to tune out, reset, recalibrate. And obviously if football is going the way you want it to go, then you're looking forward to the next game, and you're one day closer to the weekend. Or if you're a Man United fan, you're playing tonight. Crystal Palace playing tonight. So yeah, man. What can I say? I hope you're all good. I've obviously seen better days as a Spurs fan, but it is what it is, isn't it? Like, you know, we're here through the thick and the thin, and unfortunately, it's tough times, man. You know, it's a marriage, and once you support a team, you're literally married to them for life. And when you do your wedding vows, they say through good times and worse and all of that stuff, better, whatever, however it goes. And we are literally going through those tough times. And funny enough, I did say on Last Word on Spurs, shout out to all the Last Word on Spurs family and all the viewers and everyone that listens to that and is, you know, coming over to listen to me here. I did say that as much as it hurts and it stings, 4 in a row is really tough. It's brutal. Putting it into perspective, we are the 5th best team in the Premier League, which means we're the 5th best team in the UK. In the football pyramid, the EFL, there's 90 teams. So there's still 84 teams, 85 teams that are worse off and doing worse than us and would love to be in our position. So as much as it hurts and it stinks, and I know that we could definitely be doing better, sometimes perspective is key, and it just really does realign your thoughts and make you think about things from another perspective, so to speak. But anyway, obviously we're here for a reason. Tottenham played Liverpool yesterday, kicked off at 4:30 p.m. So it was the last game on Super Sunday away at Anfield. Always a tough fixture for us, a bogey ground. We've not got anything there in the last 34, 33 years, whatever it is, Premier League. I think we've won there once. So it was always going to be a tough fixture, regardless of how good our form was, regardless of how we went into this game. You know, we've gone into this game with better teams, in better form, and still been spanked, still lost a game where we shouldn't have. Even last year, we were 3-0 down, 2-0 to get back to 3-3. Lucas Moura with a crazy no-look back pass for no reason. Jota ran onto it, slotted the ball away. They won 4-3. Crazy game, great game for the neutral. So frustrating for us after thinking we had got something from the game and then losing it at the death. And Yesterday, obviously, after 3 losses in a row, we lost to Newcastle 4-0 away from home. We then lost to Arsenal, which was a weird one because we weren't by no far outplayed and probably with a better team, but we were 3-0 down in 35 minutes, 38 minutes, which was insane. We kind of made it respectable losing 3-2, but at the end of the day, you still lost in the North London derby. And then the Chelsea game we were crap. And we lost 2-0 away at Stamford Bridge. So we went into this game, obviously going into Anfield, nervous, all over the place, really. And I just wanted to see some sort of fight, character, some sort of resilience, some sort of pride, some sort of respect for yourself, for the badge, for the fans that travelled all the way up to Anfield. And for the first 15 minutes, I saw that. But once Liverpool scored, we were flat. And, before we knew it, it's 3-0, 4-0. And I'm just thinking, oh, man, please don't let this be a cricket score. And thankfully, we showed some bite back and we got back into the game. But it's too little too late. And if you keep giving yourself a 2-goal, 3-goal mountain, 4-goal mountain to climb, irrespective of how well you play, it's never really going to go your way. You're not going to get a result. And it goes both. There's two trains of thoughts here. Yes, of course, you made it more respectable. You don't get front 5, 6 or 7s. But also, when a team goes 3-0 or 4-0 up, psychologically, no matter what people say, they will take their foot off the pedal. They will take their foot off the gas. And sometimes they allow the team back in. And sometimes it does, transcend into an exciting and crazy game, especially for a neutral watching. If a team's 3-0 up and the other team gets it to 3-2, 3-3, then it's on a knife edge. But also at the same time, the team that is in the the team that is in a dominant position should see it out. But anyway, like I said earlier, I hope you're good, hope you're well. It's a bit of a relaxing thing for me now because I do get a bit of time off, like in the sense of we've had so many games in such quick succession. Arsenal, then we went to obviously who did we play after that? So it was Arsenal, it was Chelsea, and then obviously and Liverpool yesterday. So it's 3 games in a week, which was mental. But now we get a week's rest and we play again. We play Burnley at home Saturday 3:00, if my memory serves correct. So a bit of a break, bit of a time off, and like I said, a bit of a reset from a team that is kind of like stressing us out at the moment. But I'll get into it. Don't want to take up too much of your time. It's Bank Holiday Monday, like I said. Shout out to everyone tuning in overseas. If you are, drop me a comment, smash the like, hit subscribe, share it. I do quite well in the sense of the views, but not many likes. So if you do tune in, even if it's for a couple of minutes, just smash a like, man. It doesn't hurt and it does help me in the sense of this is a growing channel. This is a young channel. I'm just trying to obviously get out there and push it up and see where it goes. So here we go. But the starting 11s for the game, we have Vicario in goal, Van de Ven and Romero as our centre-back partnership, Pedro Porro on the right and Emerson Royal on the left. Emerson Royal played the last game and he's a utility guy, and we are going to get into, trust me, we are definitely going to get into Emerson Royal, my thoughts on him. But he's not a left back, man. He's barely a right back. And for me, I said it to begin with. As soon as Udogie was ruled out for the season, I said I'd want to see Dragusin come in as a centre back. He was bought, good player, he come with a respectable pedigree. Bayern Munich also went from for the time. When Ricky van der Ven went down injured and Romero was injured and out for suspension, we had no centre backs after that. So we went out and got a good young centre back in the January window, and he's not really featured. So I wanted to see him as centre back and Mickey van der Ven, who was obviously a left-footed centre back, play at left back. The argument there was that maybe he's not as good on the ball and maybe he's not as good on the ball in tight spaces, which is what you're going to need to be a fullback, especially the way we play as an inverted fullback, / number 8. But he doesn't have to play that role per se. But as a left back and a left-sided centre back, he will definitely be comfortable on the ball. He is good on the ball, in my opinion, anyway. So I'm not really sure with that. Obviously, his pace would help. And naturally, as a defender, he would understand position in the market and hopefully not get beat like Emerson Royal did yesterday. But anyway, The midfield three, as we understand, we're not quite sure what's going on there. And Postecoglou clearly doesn't know his best team, and he keeps mixing and matching. When I say he knows his best team, he did at the beginning of the season, but because of so many players out of form, because of so many players not performing and the team not firing, he's trying to get the balance right and see what works. So he went with Bentancur, Pat Matasar, and Yves Bissouma. And then up front, we had Heung-min Son going down as the striker / number 9, Brennan Johnson on one side and Kulusevski on the other. So on paper, a decent team. Obviously, for me, the midfield didn't work yet again. I think Bissouma has been really good in the last couple of games. Unfortunately, the results haven't gone our way, so he's not going to get spoke about. But he's been solid. He's been good on the ball. He's put in a good shift. He made some really good passes in the second half yesterday, which I'll get into. Sarr hasn't been good at whatsoever. I don't think people are not really calling it. Obviously, he's a young player. He's somebody who's learning his trade, and he's still got a long way to go, in my opinion. He's not been good in the last couple of games. And Bentancur wasn't good either, if we're being honest. He was at fault for the Harvey Elliott goal, where he should have closed Harvey Elliott down and done a lot better with his attempt to tackle. And he just didn't really get into the game. But for Liverpool, Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson as the fullbacks, which obviously makes a lot of sense. And then Van Dijk, who's obviously always going to play, but he was partnered with Quansah. Then they had a midfield three of Harvey Elliott, Endo and McAllister. Good midfield. You've got the right amount of balance, technicality, physicality, and obviously creativeness in there. And then Salah, obviously that makes a lot of sense. Gakpo, the jury's out on him for me. He had a good game yesterday, and he also scored against us at White Hart Lane, but I'm not sure if I rate him. And then Luis Diaz, who I think is a good winger. So that was the starting 11s. The bench for us was quite strong, to be fair. Oliver Skip, who is in and out of the actual match day squads. So he's having a tough time at the moment. Højbjerg is always in the match day squads. If he's not starting, he's on the bench, and he always usually comes on. Dragisin, who I've alluded to already, centre-back that we brought in from Italy, hasn't really featured much. Richarlison, Maddison, Brian Gill, Lo Celso, Austin, and for the banners in the way, but and then on the other side for Liverpool, Gomez, Kanate, Szoboszlai, Nunes, Curtis Jones, Gravenberch, Bakatic, and Kelleher. And it's actually, at the moment, the injuries are stacking up on our side, and I didn't really realise this until I looked at it yesterday, but got quite a lot of players out at the moment. Alfie Whiteman is a goalkeeper, so he's the third goalkeeper. You wouldn't really notice that. But Ben Davis is out for the season. Destiny Udoji's out for the season. Fraser Forster, who is our backup goalkeeper, first backup goalkeeper, out for the season. Manor Solomon's literally been out all year. He featured like once or twice, and we've not seen him since. Ryan Sessegnon, another guy who never can really get a run of games going, always injured. And then Timo Werner, who pulled up in the Arsenal game, and he's out for the season. So quite a long list of injuries there. When you look at the other side, Liverpool are missing Jota, Ben Dijk, Matip and Thiago, who unfortunately for them is always injured as well. So as I said, a first half which started promising, and then before we know it, we're 2-0 down. For the first goal, Emerson Royal was at fault, lost his runner, as in Mohamed Salah. I didn't know where he was. Mohamed Salah ghosted in. I think it was a nice little chipped pass from Gakpo. Free header. Vicario, for me, should have done better. It was kind of aimed right at him, and he was quite weak. He was falling back before he made the save. So it was like that. And I'm being harsh and I'm being critical. I think Vicario is a great goalkeeper, but he did make a mistake there. He should have done better for that save. It was funny as well, because on the 32nd minute, Gakpo made a blatant dive. And it's really weird how sometimes the commentators will call things out and be quite harsh with players, and then other times they really almost make excuses for the player. Gakpo dived. He literally jumped over Van de Ven's leg and initiated the contact, then fell to the floor. And then, Gary Neville was like, Gakpo jumps. It's not a penalty for me. It's not this. And it's like, it's clearly not a penalty. It's a dive. Why don't you call it out for what it is? It frustrates me as well, because Yves Bissouma, obviously, naturally, I'm going to go back to this point. Luton away, he was already on a yellow card. Clear dive, and he got a second yellow card. And at the time, I was like, cool, you know what? As much as it pains me to say it was blatantly a dive, and if it's going to be the letter of the law and they give yellows, fair enough. Obviously, we had to take the L, took one on the chin in that game. I was like, cool. That's the precedent that's been set. They've laid down a marker. They're not going to stand for it this season. And going forward, we're going to see that in every game. They're going to stamp out diving. Lo and behold, he's the only guy that's ever literally been booked for diving since. And he's the only guy that's been sent off, as in on the first yellow. The referee gives him a second yellow. Usually you see when a player's on a yellow card, they're a lot more lenient to give the second. The way that guy flashed him so quickly to give him that yellow, and then I've not seen it since for even first time, fouls or whichever. It just baffles me. So again, it always grinds my gears when I see diving anyway, but then to see it and people make light of it after what happened with Basuma, it does piss me off and it winds me up. But anyway, just a little pointer there. Emerson Royale. What can I say about the guy? And the irony is, it was his 100th appearance in a Spurs shirt yesterday. When Tottenham put this out, I'm all for supporting our team and I'm all for getting behind the guys, but he's clearly not good enough to feature for any Premier League team, let alone the team fighting for top 4, trying to at least maintain their status as a top 6, a big 6 club. The guy's whatless, in and out of possession. He was caught lacking for 2 of the 4 goals that were scored yesterday. He was really bad on the ball. Every time the ball went through him, he would break down the offensive, essentially build up. I just don't. I question how he made it to this level. He was at Barcelona before as well, and he'll have a decent game here or there, but ultimately he's not a guy you can build a team with. He's not good enough to be a squad player, and he is someone that I want to see gone in the summer. I'm just tired of just not being a cohesive footballer. Like, he just can't do the simple things. We can't play football when he's on the pitch, and it kills me as well because the Liverpool goal. I mean, once Liverpool were 2-0 ahead, they did start to play football and they looked really good. But before that, we were going toe-to-toe with them. We were matching them. But all it takes is 1 or 2 silly mistakes. All it takes is 1 or 2 players to not be at 100% or not be good enough, and you get found out. And yesterday, they attacked Emerson Royale's side literally time after time because they know he's the weak link. And they got it spot on, man. The guy's just not good enough. And he cost us big time yesterday. And I'm not blaming the whole loss on him, of course, but obviously when there is a weak link and when the opposition team targets that weak link, sooner or later, you will become a cropper. You know what? Let's go to the comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. Shout out to everyone tuning in. If you are tuned in, like I said earlier, you didn't catch it, smash the like, leave a comment, share it with anyone that you feel would enjoy it. So yeah, as I said, I'm just trying to grow the channel, and without you guys, there is no channel. So respect to everyone that's tuned in, locked in, and I appreciate you. Colin, shout out, man. I literally just I hadn't even checked the comments, but you probably beat me to the punch. I've just spoke about Emerson Royale. Jesus Christ, like, yeah, the less we say about him, the better. I'd never want to pile on a player, but like I said earlier, the guy's just not good enough, and he's someone that needs to get gone in the summer. I did say on Last Word on Spurs yesterday, so Colin, if you did tune in, you may have seen it. I was like, there has to be, it's almost like Ange playing in 2 games in a row when you know he's not good enough. You're either naively hoping that he has an amazing game and he just ups his level, or you know that he's not good enough and you're sending a message out to the board saying, look, this is what I've got to work with. Look at the tools at my disposal and you expect me to get a result here. So hopefully it's the latter. Hopefully it's almost like a self-sacrifice. You're essentially cutting off your nose to spite your face to prove to everyone else that, look, this is where we need massive investment in the summer. Because obviously Ben Davies is out. Ben Davies is he's not a flying, marauding fullback, swashbuckling fullback. He's quite a basic player, but at least he can do the essentials at a decent level, i.e. defend. He's not great on the ball. His passing is not great, but at least he can defend. And Emerson Royale can't do any of the, of the 3 or 4 things you would expect from a fullback. So it's a mystery. So Trip Vic, I'm not sure who you support, but he's telling me to hold that. Fair enough. 4 losses in a row is always going to sting. At the end of the day, this is the beginning and infancy stages of our development, of our rebuild. So, yeah, the scheduling was brutal, to be fair. I mean, we had, I made a note of it. Obviously, losing 4 in a row is mental. As I stated in the comment title section, it's the first time this has happened in 20 years. But when you look at it, and again, these are not excuses. It is just some sort of context to what's happened. When you have Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, Chelsea away, and then Liverpool away is 4 games in a row. And the fact is that Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool are all 3 of the top 7 teams in the league. So, irrespective of how bad Chelsea have been, they're still 7th right now. Newcastle are 6th in the league. Obviously, we're 5th. Arsenal, as you know, are 1st in the league right now and fighting for the league. And Liverpool essentially are still in the mix to a degree. They're fighting for the league as well. So that is a brutal scheduling. I expected more than 0 points, I'm not going to lie. But when you look at the fixtures and how they've obviously randomly been aligned like that, it's never going to be easy. So, yeah, it stinks. Yeah, we should have done better. But you have to look at the teams that we've had to play back to back to back. And that's tough, man. And we played 3 of them in a week. Mental. We had 2 weeks off. So we were obviously out of rhythm and out of sync. And then we had 3 games, boom, boom, boom. And that's where I think the scheduling of the league needs to be better, because it just doesn't make no sense. And, you know, it's just weird. They could do better in that sense. Colin, again, Kulusevski's off it, Johnson on the wrong side, Sonny in the wrong position, Dragusin on the bench, Richie on the bench. What does Ange see that we don't? And yeah, I'm going to get into all of these on the takeaways. So good shout. Johnson had a decent game when the striker came on. Son had a decent game when the striker came on. So obviously, as you're going to see later, why are we playing Son out of position? It doesn't help Son. It doesn't help the team. And we are sacrificing ourselves. It's a weird one. So I'm going to get into that. Again, I did speak on Dragusin on the bench. I don't understand it personally. I'd rather put Mickey van der Ven as a left-footed full-back on the left. Dragusin, who is a natural centre-back, as a centre-back. And I would have brought on Richie. But yeah, again, we move. And, you know, exactly, what does Ange see that we don't? Or is Ange just making simple, basic errors? Or is Ange sending out a message to the powers that be? We'll have to see. Kate, what's good, man? Everyone who doesn't follow Kate already, jump onto her channel, follow her. Fantastic Spurs female podcaster. Fantastic Spurs podcaster. Forget the female bit. She is a female as well, so that is a big thing in itself, because there's not many good Spurs female podcasters or pundits out there. But just all in all, quality person, really nice person, and yeah, just follow her. She uploads good content. I met her through the Football Terrace. I think she'll be on there later today. So yeah, tune into that as well. It's always good when you connect with good people through football. So yeah, man. I'm good as well, Kate. I'm very good. Very well. So yeah, I hope you're good as well. I hope you're enjoying your bank holiday Monday. And obviously I'll catch up with you soon. But anyway, back to you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, do I have to do these? It's good to do them, don't get me wrong. I like talking football. I love talking with you guys. And obviously, it pains me, but the Tottenham is the team I love. And it's like I said, for better, for worse, through thick and thin, we have to do this. So here we are, man. But going back to the game, as I said, we started quite well. All of a sudden, we're 2-0 down. And then they literally were just zipping the ball around. We couldn't get near the ball. We struggled to hold the ball when we had it, and Liverpool just by far looked the better side. And when I saw these stats going into half time, I was sick to my stomach, sick to my core, because it's just not the Tottenham that we fell in love with at the beginning of the season. And no one would like to see these kind of stats. So again, more possession of the ball, but doing nothing with it. But the crucial things here, Liverpool had 13 shots to our 1 shot. They had 8 shots on target. We had 0. Touches in the opposition box, 31 for them and 7 for us. And I think that changed. I think just before half time, Brennan Johnson, from a Pedro Porro cross, which was a really nice cross, he got a header. It was a good contact on the ball, good connection, forced Alisson to make a good save. But unfortunately for us, it wasn't in either of the corners. So it was a comfortable-ish save for Alisson. So I think we had 1 shot on target in the first half, which is mental. For a team that is supposed to score a lot of goals and have good attacking play, we've lost our way. And I will get into it on the takeaways, but yeah, it was very concerning seeing those stats. We were totally dominated. Liverpool were good for their lead, and I had no complaints in terms of the scoreline, but obviously a lot of complaints and question marks on the way we set up, the players' endeavour, what the players were doing, and also what Ange was doing, because obviously the team is set up in his image, and it just doesn't seem to be clicking at the moment. So yeah, let's go back to the comments, because I do enjoy interacting with you guys. So NS, what's good? How you doing? Yeah, Chelsea have done well, man. Over the last couple of games, you guys have really picked up form. Battering West Ham the way you did yesterday was impressive. Obviously, you beat Arsenal really good in that game, and you're slyly now in the European contention. So, fair play, man. It looks like Pochettino's starting to understand what works for his team, and you guys are doing well. Yeah, big up Nippon as well, definitely. And you've got a Liverpool logo, Andy, and you're saying Enquiries. So yeah, fair enough. Yeah, come on, you Spurs. But yeah, man, it always hurts when the rival fans come in the day after and obviously gloat and taunt us. But yeah, fair play. Liverpool good. As I said, always love you guys. Always respected your team and how you play. And for me, it was anyone but Arsenal. So, i.e., you or Man City. It looks like you lot are falling away, but just keep doing what you're doing. You never know. I need you or Manchester City to win the league. I can't have anyone other than you two winning it. I can't have Arsenal doing it. It would, yeah. So you guys do that. See, look at that, Jan. You're amazing. Thank you for doing that. And Kate, there you go. You got a new subscriber. So yeah, man, that's brilliant. And that's what it's about. It's about the community. Obviously, we're all Spurs fans here. Well, most of us connecting and coming together, and even greater community, as in your Chelseas, your Liverpools, everyone else that's here. By all means, like, follow and connect with the good people, because it makes us, there's love and there's room for all of us. So yeah, I love that. Do I think the coaching setup is out of its depth? Yeah, I do. Can't speak at the moment. Do you think the coaching setup is out of its depth? So that's a question from Colin. I do. I think that there's big question marks on Jedinek as a coach. Obviously Ange Postecoglou has shown good signs and good promise, but there's still question marks there. And obviously set pieces have been a massive concern. What are we doing there? Our attacking play over the last couple of months hasn't been where it should be at. So what's going on there? And defensively, we definitely need a rejig and a restructure. So I think so. And, if we finish fifth, which I think we will, that is a decent season. It's a very good season considering for our first year here. When you look at the level of the other teams in the league, and Postecoglou's first season here, and all of the other, tangibles that we keep going on about. But it is frustrating when we know that we had fourth. It was in our grasp, it was in our hands, and we should have held on to it, if we're being honest. So there are causes for concern, but there are also, glimmers of radiance, and I'm thinking of the right word, but yeah, there's good and bad bits at the moment. Let me get this thing out the way so you guys can see my face and see what I'm saying. But yeah, here we go. Let's go back to the comments. Jan, hey Pat, listening while painting the living room. There you go. Multitasking at its best. A nice shade of sticking with it and keeping the faith. And there you go. And Jan, exactly that. And I know you're a massive Last Word on Spurs follower and watcher and listener. So respect to you for that. And as I've been saying on there yesterday, and like I keep saying, I mean, my message is quite consistent. Yes, I didn't want Ange in the summer. There were managers that I thought were better suited for us and who I would rather like to see appointed. But since he's been appointed, I said, and I keep saying that I will stick with the guy. I will show him the faith and the belief that he deserves. And I'm not going to flip-flop after a couple of bad games. I knew that this was going to be tough during our first season. And lo and behold, we are at a rocky patch. And just showed me enough to show that he is good enough to manage Spurs, and he is good enough to hopefully take us to where we need to be. I have question marks on his flexibility, his tactical intelligence, and how quickly it takes him to adapt to certain situations or even set up against different teams. Those are question marks that we will see answered in the second season. I understand it's not his full team. He's going to need players in and out, as he even has come out and said. And I do think that all in all, he's had a good season. We're on 60 points. We're fifth in the league. I'm going to show you a graphic which puts it into context compared to other managers' first seasons. And you can see, I mean, even talking to rival fans, they tell you that the brand of football is good. They enjoy watching Tottenham. And we've had a good season. But obviously, in these last couple of games and the last couple of months, we have fallen away. And those are the areas that need to be addressed. So, yeah. And yeah, exactly that, Jan. It's about the community. I do see a lot of toxicity online, especially after we lose a couple of games. People lose their heads, attack each other, and that's mental to me because it's just football. And as much as I love football, and as you can see, I'm a passionate fan. I love Spurs. I love connecting with you guys, and I love going to games and talking football. I don't understand when people are attacking each other, calling each other out, getting personal over something that you can't control, I can't control, and we're all here because we love it, and we're all essentially part of the same squad. It's crazy. But anyway, that's just how the world is, and not everyone's going to be decent about it. But if I can do my bit to try and change that or help and bring people together, then I will. Obviously, naturally, it's just who I am and what I'm about. But yeah, going back to the game, as I said, it's 20 years since we've lost 4 on the spin. So that's quite hard to stomach, man. That is hard to take. I did allude to the scheduling, tough games in there, but we always knew this was coming. It's not a surprise. It's not like they just threw these games at us right now. We knew 6 months ago. We knew when the fixtures were that this was the tough part, and we've not been in Europe this year. We went out of the cups early, so for me, there's no excuses. Like Aston Villa, who are 4th in the league right now, they've been fighting in Europe, all season. A lot of the teams have been in Europe for most of the season. We've only had 1 game a week. So the scheduling, as brutal as it is right now, has been kind to us in that sense. We definitely need better quality because next season we will be in Europe. And we're going to have to navigate the Thursday, Sunday scheduling and cycle. And right now, obviously, the team isn't good enough to do that. So we do need to really, really look at that and see where we can get better. I know where we can get better, but I mean, the board need to align and make sure that they do what they need to do. So yeah, just going back to the game, I'm going to quickly get into this. So obviously we got beaten 4-2. The game did change when Ange Postecoglou made the subs. He brought on Maddison, he brought on Richarlison, and then he also brought on Oliver Skip. And this was around the 60th minute. And the game changed massively. I'm going to get into that in a second. But as you can see here, possession stats, we usually are the team with the more possession. At first, I was excited about that, thinking, yeah, we're playing a good brand of football. And, it's great to be the team that's dominant and giving it to the opposition. But then I started to look at where we're mainly having the ball and where we're being dominant with it. And teams are allowing us to have the ball in the middle of the park and just being more solid defensively and knowing that we can't break them down. And then they're just attackers on the transition, on the counter. So it's all well and good having the ball, but it's what you do with it. As you can see, the expected goals are much higher than ours. They had a lot more shots. They created more big chances. So again, as I said, it's all well and good having the ball, but it's what you do with it. What do you do with it in the final third? Are you testing their goalkeeper? Are you, we scored 2 goals, great. But other than that, Alisson didn't really have to make any great saves. Against Chelsea, we didn't test their goalkeeper. So I need to see more from the attacking front 3 or front 4. But I also need to see Ange play players in their better position or their best positions, which I'll get into. So as you can see, their shots on target, 6 to their 13. Shots on target, off target, 3 to their 8. So they were much more dominant in and around that final third, in and around that penalty box. And obviously that's what won them the game, and that's what lost us the game. The good thing for us is that we didn't concede off a set piece yesterday. We didn't really look too worried on set pieces. They had around about 8 corners, which I think when I see the next one, where is it? I'm not sure where it is, sorry. But I know they had around 8 corners. And yeah, they didn't really trouble us in that respect, which is good. So at least that's a positive. And to be fair as well, it was quite concerning. We did lose our head in that game. I saw Basuma get a yellow card for, losing his head after the referee made a call. Sarr got a clumsy yellow card because he wasn't 10 yards away when he took a free kick. And then there was 1 or 2 other yellow cards. And discipline-wise, I know nothing crazy happened, but you got to keep your head in these big games, especially big games away from home. So, yeah, that was something that needs to be looked at. And this is an image I saw far too often yesterday, and I've seen far too frequently over the last couple of weeks. Tottenham players looking lost and in disarray and aghast as the other team scores a goal and runs away celebrating. And hopefully I don't see this image too frequently for the rest of the season, because it's something that we've become accustomed to, and it's not good. So, yeah, I need the lads to do better, man. I need the lads to show some pride. We've got 3 games left. I need to see something in these 3 games. But yeah, I'm going to get to my takeaway section. So I've basically going to start doing what I call takeaways. Takeaways, no kebab. And this is where we get to talk about things that I've noticed in the game, things that I'm noticing, and where I know we can do better and be better. And as I said before, the first takeaway that I have to talk about, and we have already spoke about, is Emerson Royale. This guy was hopeless yesterday. He lets Mo Salah, one of the most dangerous players in world football, ghost and leave him for dead time after time after time. He was at fault for the first goal. He was at fault for the third goal as well. Just not good. And no, it was the first and second goal, I think. Just not good enough on the ball, with the ball. And yeah, I can't see this guy in the Spurs shirt next season. I really can't. Hapless, hopeless. Not good enough for in any position. Right back, which is his actual position, left back or centre back. Another takeaway is Brennan Johnson. He's a guy that's getting a lot of slack, sometimes rightfully, sometimes wrongfully. But I thought he had another decent game. He's one of the guys that never shies away. Even if he's not having a good game, he'll always get the ball, take on his man and try and do something. He's a work in progress, but I do like the signs that I'm seeing from him. Got a good assist yesterday, a nice cross into and that was a nice build-up play actually. Basuma, who again, like I said, is quietly going about his business. It was a lovely weighted pass to Brennan Johnson that broke the lines. Brennan Johnson whipped in a delicious cross, and then Richarlison with a cultured finish, just literally calmly slotted the ball or lifted it over Alisson's trailing leg, and we got something back. So it's 4-1 at that time. And funny enough, when Richarlison came on, which is another one of my takeaways, we looked so much a better team. For most of Son's career, he's always played off a striker, as in Harry Kane, or even at times Llorente. He's always had someone that he can target man. We even had at some point, we had Vinicius Jr. We've always had a striker that Son has played off of. Yes, when Harry Kane's been injured, he's played down the middle here and there, but he's never been the main man, the target guy, the focal point. He's not a number 9. And every time you play Son in that position, you lose the best of Son, which means Tottenham are not going to be the same Tottenham. And he's not good at hold-up play. He's not good at, obviously, bringing the ball down and bringing others into thing. And he's not good with his back to goal. So all the things you'd want from a number 9, apart from finishing, he doesn't give you. But as soon as Richarlison came on, Richie was making great runs, and Son is a very good passer of the ball, and he was finding him. It also meant Son had someone to link up with, and you saw Son also on the left-hand side dribbling at his man, taking his man on and making things happen. And lo and behold, we scored 2 goals. Son is in the mix for both of the goals. He was part of the, Richarlison scored, and then Sonny scored off of Richarlison assist. So shout out to Richarlison as well. He came on and made a big difference in that game, and I do feel maybe if he would have started, it could have been different. But we need to play with a number 9. I want to see Richarlison starting the last 3 games. And next season, I need to see us go for a quality striker. It makes such a difference. And another takeaway that I've got is that front 4 is the front 4 we need to go with, as in the front 4 that played the last 30 minutes. So that's James Maddison, Richarlison, Heung-min Son, and who was the 4th one? Brendan Johnson. We looked so much better and so much more controlled when those 4 were playing together. Scored 2 goals, could have had a couple more. And even Gary Neville said it. He goes, this is the front 4 that you want to see Tottenham play with. They've got a lot of quality, and I like this balance, and I like these players playing together. So that's where I would say we need to, at the end of the day, this season is definitely trial and error, working things out. The midfield 3, still not sure of, but I think that front 4 is the front 4 you want to go with. As I said before, Brennan Johnson, a work in progress. This season, he's got 5 goals and 8 assists. So that's 13 goal contributions in 29 games. It's not bad. It's not fantastic, but it's definitely not as bad as some of these guys are making it out to be on social media. When I see some of the takes, I'm like, what? Surely watching the game, he's not as bad as you lot are making him out to be. He's a positive young player. It's only a 2nd season in the Premier League as well. He was at Nottingham Forest when they got promoted. So last year was his first season in the Premier League. Obviously with a relegation candidate team. This year is his first year at a decent team. Obviously he's learning his, he's getting his wings, getting his stripes on the wing. And we're still learning as a team as well. So the team's not 100% settled. So he's come in and he's done well. I think he's done well. A lot of potential there. Obviously, there's room for improvement, but I do think that there is a player there. And you can see that with some of the goals and some of the contributions he's had. Another takeaway for me is again, like I said, the system works better with a striker. Imagine if we had a striker who can score you 15 to 20, can guarantee it. Richarlison's on 11 goals right now. He has missed a chunk of the season with injuries and all of that stuff. But if we're being honest, I don't think he's of the quality or the ilk that we would bank or bet our bottom dollar on. So I do need to see a better striker come in the summer. I do like Richarlison, but I just don't think he's at the level that we need, if we're being brutally honest. Another shocker that has come to light is it's one clean sheet in our last 25 games. Let me repeat that. It's one clean sheet in our last 25 games. Like, that stinks. That is concerning. And that is relegation form level of defending. And obviously, yes, we can score goals, and obviously our position in the league, you know, is decent enough for now. But to have one clean sheet in 25 games is criminal. That means you need to score at least a goal just to get a result. And we're conceding 2 or 3 a game. So you need to score at least 3 or 4 to win a game. That isn't conducive. It isn't sustainable. And it is a cause for concern. So next season, one of the things I need to see us do better is tighten up the defense. It's quite leaky. It's patchy. I need to see a number 6 coming in the summer, someone that can protect the 2 centre backs. I'm finding out, and you'll, as you guys are watching again, you're probably seeing it. A lot of the times it's 1v1, so you've got one good attacker versus one defender, and obviously, if they get past that guy, then they're literally through on goal with a clean shot on goal. We do play suicidal football in the sense of we can't allow it to be 1v1s or 1v2s or 2v2s. It's dangerous, and it's obviously not working because we're shipping a lot of goals and losing games. So that's something that needs to be worked on and addressed in the summer, because that is a big cause for concern. One clean sheet in 25 is really worrying, and you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to be a good team if you're defending like that. Like, we're defending like bozos, and yeah, that needs to change. Let's go back to the comments, see what you guys are saying. Yes, Paddy, my guy, my namesake. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Is it a bank holiday over there in Ireland? I'm not sure how it works over there, but yeah, I hope you're enjoying your day. Hope you're enjoying the Monday, and hopefully Spurs haven't stressed you out too much. Collins come back to me and said, yeah, I totally agree with Royale, not top 4. He's not a top. I mean, maybe he could play at Nottingham Forest or a Luton or a Sheffield United or essentially at Everton or somewhere like that. But he's not a top 10, top 12 caliber Premier League player. Just not good enough with or without the ball. Just not good enough in all the moments that you'd expect to see from a Premier League player. Like, Oliver Skipp came on, and Oliver Skipp is someone who struggled to get into the match day squads. Sometimes he's not even in the match day squads. Oliver Skipp is a guy that we obviously like because he's come through the academy, but dare I say it, we all know he's not good enough as well. But Oliver Skipp hasn't played in a long time. Came in at left back, and look how much more secure we looked. At least Oliver Skipp can hold on to the ball and make a pass and do something. And when Oliver Skipp is looking better than you in a position he never plays in, and a guy who's rusty and is out of sync and all of that and out of rhythm, that just goes to show how bad you are. So yeah, I just can't see Emerson Royale in the Spurs shirt again, and that is something that hasn't worked. And the sooner he leaves, the better. It was really frustrating starting with 2 wingers starting on their weak foot. I thought Ange doesn't like them cutting back. Yeah, that's an odd one. Obviously, when you're playing Son and Brennan Johnson and you're playing them on the other side, I'm not sure what the thesis behind that was. Obviously, only Ange can answer for that. Well, yeah, Kulusevski as well, obviously, wasn't there. So I don't know. I'm not sure what was going on there. Hi, Pat. Couldn't believe it yesterday, but having slept on it, 5th isn't bad. With all we have had to endure, we will improve. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been saying. You know, obviously, once you realise that you couldn't get Champions League football, it's a disappointing end to the season. But I said it a while ago. I'm not sure how much of me you tune in and watch, and if you see me on other platforms, but I said it from December, January onwards. I said I'd love to be 4th, but only if we deserve to be there, i.e. we're finishing strong and playing well and in a good position. But I said back then, if we're stuttering and stammering and playing shaky and patchy like we are now, losing games, shipping 3s and 4s, and our form is all over the place, I do not want to see us in the Champions League. A, because we're getting embarrassed, B, because it's a waste of time, and C, I'd rather be in a cup competition that I feel that we can win. And going into the Europa next season, obviously we have to improve, don't get me wrong, but if we improve in the summer, there's no drop downs in the Champions League next season. So the top teams in the Europa League and the ones that finish as number 3s or 4s in the group stages of the Champions League, they're out of Europe altogether. They're not going to drop down. So I feel we have a good chance of winning that competition if we go in there next year, take it seriously, and obviously improve. So it's our level right now. You got to be honest as well. We're not a Champions League team right now. When you look at us against the other Champions League teams, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, Aston Villa are there, you know, right now we're not as good as those teams, if you're being brutally honest. So it's just not a level that we should be in right now. And it's a transition. It's a growth. It's essentially there's building blocks to it, and you can't run before you can walk. And yeah, of course, it's great if you can level up and jump a few hurdles at the same time, but realistically, it does take time. So I think I think Europa League is our level. I think it's a good level for us. I want to see us go out there and win it. I want to see us win trophies now, you know, and it's attainable. So go there, improve. The Thursday Sunday cycle is something that is always gonna divide opinion, but at the end of the day, you just got to do what you got to do, man. So yeah, hopefully we do improve. There's signs there. I can't lie to you and say I'm 100% positive that we will, because I think that our form and how we've slipped so much in the back end of the season is the worry. The funny thing is, it's quite weird, isn't it? Because if you look at like a Chelsea and a Newcastle, they weren't good at the beginning of the season, and now they've obviously upped their game, and they're like that. And even though they're behind us in the league, you probably get more of a feel-good factor from their camp and their fans, where we've obviously started at the top and we've declined like that. At the end of the day, we're still a better team league-wise than them. We're in a better position. We should finish higher than them. So when you look at it, it swings and roundabouts, because obviously you'll feel a bit more dejected as a Spurs fan, seeing how it petered out and tailed off. But at the end of the day, the points on the board, we have more points than them. So over the course of the season, if it continues, then we've been the better team. So it's just about finding that balance and putting that into perspective. But obviously I need to see more improvement and just more, I'm thinking more like being more rounded and just more like, you know, like when we're good, we're good. When we're bad, we're bad. I just need to see a bit more in the middle. So even if you're not at your best, you can still get a result, because we just seem to tail off a lot at the moment. Kulusevski problem playing at right wing. So yeah, I agree. That was a weird one. It's quite strange playing players on the other side. Unless he thought it would give you guys problems, but it clearly didn't work. Hello, Pat. So this is a message from Simon Clark. Hello, Pat. Called it blind faith, but I think Andrew get it right. He has done before, even if it was a different level. Yeah, and obviously that was one of the reasons why I questioned the appointment in the summer. I wasn't sure the level, would he be able to step up? And at the beginning of the season, it seemed like he was going to take it, like, you know, he took the lead like a duck to water, and he seemed well within his level and in the comfort zones and all of that stuff. He seemed and looked okay. If I'm being honest, the last couple of months, he has appeared to me to look out of his depth. And when questions have arisen, he hasn't had the answers for them. But let's see. Hopefully he is an intelligent guy. He seems so. I mean, to get to the level he's got to, from where he got to, you have to have something about you. It's clear he has footballing philosophies and he won't wane on his principles. But sometimes I feel that if you are too stubborn, you will die on your sword. But let's see. He's come out and said he knows what's what. He knows what needs to be addressed in. He knows what needs to happen in the summer. So let's see what happens, man. But all in all, if Daniel Levy doesn't back him, then we are where we are. So there's a few things that, where as much as I love and want to believe, of course I do, there's a few things that do concern me, considering who we are and what we're about. Does anyone ever in training suggest Kulu uses his right foot? He's so predictable. Yeah, Kulusevski is a player who has really disappointed me this season. I know he's got 6 goals, roughly around 3 assists. So stats-wise, it looks okay. But watching him week in and week out, knowing how good he is and seeing the glimpses, like in the Arsenal game, he was our best player. And this is what frustrates me. He's so inconsistent. I have a really good game and then he'll be anonymous like he was yesterday. So for the casuals that watch him now and again, you'll be like, oh, the guy's doing nothing. He has had good moments, but he's not grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, and he's not putting his imprint in the game. Like when he first came, he was brilliant. He was so good. At that time, everyone was saying that he was better than Saka, and we had made such a shrewd appointment and all of that stuff, or acquisition. But he's fallen off a cliff massively, and I need to see a player get back to that level. When one or two players are out of form, it's you look at it and you're like, okay. When you have 5, 6, or 7 players out of form, then questions have to be asked at the manager. And even Pedro Porro, someone who is a fantastic player, really good wing back. He's been on 7 assists for like 10 games. Like he started so brightly, was whipping in crosses and creating chances and taking shots. And you've not really seen that Pedro Porro recently. Saying that, it was his delivery for the Brennan Johnson header in the first half, which was probably our best chance in that half. But he's fallen off. Sar's fallen off. Kulusevski's fallen off. Question marks about Son's form, but I do think that's unfair considering he's always played out of position. Madison's definitely fallen off. Vicario can be questioned, even though I do feel that there are mitigating circumstances, but his form has dropped a bit. So you look at all these things and you're like, that's a lot. So when you got all these players out of form at the same time, you're going to struggle. So that's something that, again, I need to see addressed in the summer. Son seems to be crushed. No, I don't think so, Matthew. I don't think Son is crushed by the responsibility of the captain. I think Son is struggling because he's been played out of position. And just like anybody, if you're played out of position and you're not played to your strengths, you're going to struggle. You also got to look at the fact that there's no creativity behind him, as in Madison's not been playing, and when he has been playing, he's not been playing well. When we drop Madison, we don't even bring in a like for like. Like you've got Lo Celso, who looks good every time he comes on, but when Madison was dropped, we didn't bring in Lo Celso. We brought on Kulusevski as a 10, and that didn't work. And I just think that it's too one-dimensional to blame Son when you look at all the issues. Again, Son is a brilliant passer of the ball. When Richarlison was making those runs in behind, Son found him every time. And Son's link-up play with Richarlison was really good. But if Richarlison doesn't start the game, or we don't have a striker, then Son's got no one to play off of. No one's finding Son. No one's finding Son when he's making runs. So what's he meant to do? He's obviously our most dangerous player in the front three. So teams are doubling up on him, which should allow another player more space. But no one's using that space to create passing lanes or create shots. And so I think it's really unfair to blame Son. Son's still got 18, 17 goals, 9 assists. And this is in a team that's not functioning. So I do think that it's not Son whatsoever, because as soon as you saw Richarlison come on and have a good game, look how much better Son looked. So that's my thoughts on it. Obviously, it's my opinion. Yours might differ to mine, but I do feel that it's really unfair how Son keeps getting shouldered with all of the blame when he's by far and no means the problem right now. Decky has been here 2.5 years, never been consistent. Yeah, first 6 months he was. Like, let's not do some revisionism here. First 6 months he was very consistent and really good. And then since then, he's kind of been in and out, hot and cold. But yeah, he's 24 now. He's about to be a parent, or he's just had a kid. I'm not sure which one it is. Probably, I think he's just had a kid. So yeah, I just need to see a more mature Kulusevski. I'm sure he'll get it right. He's a very talented player. He looks like someone who works on his craft. It's just not work for him at the moment. Fair point. He does need service. Yeah, man, he does. Like when he gets service, look how good he is. But if he's not getting service and he's been played out of position, it's tough, isn't it? And of course, he's playing, so people will say, "Oh, it's on this, on that." But I just think it's mental that people don't see what I'm seeing. But I don't know. Maybe I see things differently. But yeah, when Son is played in position and played to his strengths, look how good he is. So yeah, it's the manner of defeats that are the issue. How many times do we not appear to be able to step up when something is riding on the outcome of a game or other results are gone our way? Yeah, I mean, Aston Villa lost to Brighton, so it kind of gave us a glimmer of hope, but we didn't take it. But then also as well, like, come on, we're away at Anfield against a very good Liverpool team and still fighting for the league. So I don't know. I never saw this game as a game that we was going to get anything out of. If I'm being honest, of course, I go into every game optimistic and hopeful, hoping that we get a result. But I can't lie to you, Liverpool away, for whatever reason, we've never got results here. and this is a very good Liverpool team. So the games I expected us to get something out of, Arsenal at home, I definitely thought we'd at least get a draw, but I thought we'd win. And Chelsea away, something told me that we would beat them or at least get a draw there. And obviously we didn't do any of that. Newcastle away is another tough one. I wasn't sure on that one. Could go either way. But I didn't expect anything today, I'm not going to lie. But it's just the fact that we've not been good in a lot of these games. That's what's caused my concern. Are this many players falling off, suggesting they have no faith in the manager and the setup? Yeah, that's what I've been saying. When so many players fall off at the same time, questions have to be asked of the manager, what he's doing in training, what he's saying to them during the games, the atmosphere, the environment, the system. Do they believe in it? Do they think that it's working? Are they really up for it? These are all the things that I'm asking right now and hoping and seeing, and we'll see. We've got obviously, well, I'll get into that actually. So I'm gonna wrap up the show. It's mental. We've done 55 minutes. I'm like, where's the time gone? Like crazy. But yeah, shout out to everyone that's still here. Shout out to everyone that's still tuned in. Love all of you guys. So yeah, let's get to the nitty gritty. So obviously, as it stands right now, the league table. Oh, and shout out to Son as well, because it was his 400th Premier, so 300th. Let me not jump the gun. It was his 300th Premier League appearance yesterday. There's only 2 players in Premier League history that have played more games than Son. That's Harry Kane and Hugo Lloris. He obviously marked it with a goal. That was the 4th time in a row, 4th consecutive time he scored at Anfield, which is crazy. And it's the 5th time in 5 consecutive games he scored against Liverpool, because he did score when we played them as well at our stadium. So shout out to Sonny, man. Even through all the adversity and for all of that, the guy keeps coming up big, and he's definitely going to go down as a Tottenham legend. So yeah, congratulations to him for that. And yeah, a few takeaways again and just a few thoughts. Like I said, it's Ange Postecoglou's first season, and when you take a look at, I know the form has really been bad the last couple of months, and obviously 4 on the spin is really atrocious regardless of who we're playing. But when you look at his points record after the first 35 games, so this is obviously against 2 of the best managers in the league right now. Jurgen Klopp managed 58 points in his first 35 games, and Mikel Arteta only managed 50 points in his first 35 games. Obviously, Mikel Arteta, that would have been probably over 2 seasons. He finished 8th and 8th in his first 2 seasons. I think Jurgen Klopp finished 8th in his first season. I'm not sure, this is off the top of my head, so I might be wrong. But it just goes to show, and even on 60 points right now, there's so many games where we should have got something out of. We were the better team against Aston Villa at home, should have comfortably beat them, battered them, and then we ended up losing 2-1. We were the better team against Wolves at home, battered them for most, not Wolves, West Ham at home, should have beat them, we ended up losing 2-1. That's already 6 points there. And there's been a couple of games as well where we've dropped points stupidly and so on. So there are good signs there, and that's what I mean. There are good signs for Ange Postecoglou. I just feel he needs a few tweaks and a few bits where he needs to basically just change up a bit. But yeah, looking at the Premier League table right now, obviously we're 5th. I feel that Champions League football's done. Villa are 7 points ahead of us with a game in. We've got a game in hand on them, but realistically, I can't see them losing the last 2 games and us winning our last 3. Anything can happen in football, but it doesn't seem likely. Villa do have Liverpool. I'm not sure who else they got. I didn't check. Actually, let's check now. But yeah, I think that ship has sailed. I do think we're finished 5th. Obviously, we have to be very cautious of the teams that are now breathing down our neck, because we haven't won in 4 games. So we have allowed the teams around us to pick up points on us. Okay, so Villa have Liverpool at home on the 13th, and then they've got Crystal Palace away on the 19th, last game of the season. But they've also got a tough Europa League second leg semi-final against Olympiacos. So they've still got 3 games to play. So, yeah, I can't see us doing that. I think it's done. Obviously, we had to get at least a couple of points in the last 2, 3, 4 fixtures. We didn't. But the funny thing is now you've got Newcastle, and Chelsea breathing down our necks. We've all played 35 games. We've got a 4-point cushion on Newcastle and a 6-point cushion on Chelsea. Newcastle have got Brighton at home, the next fixture. They got Man United away, which is a toughie, and Brentford away. Chelsea have got Forest away, Brighton away, and Bournemouth at home. And then Man United, who are literally at the bottom of the screen, they're on 54 points as well, but are a worse goal difference than Chelsea. They're playing tonight, so they're playing Crystal Palace tonight. So they played a game less than all the rest of us. Their games tonight are 8 o'clock. Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park. They've then got Arsenal at home. They've got Newcastle at home and Brighton away. So they've actually got some tough fixtures there. So realistically, I can't see them catching us. But if we're not on our A game and don't win some games, Newcastle and Chelsea could. But realistically, our last 3 games, we've got Burnley at home. We have to win that game. We've got Man City at home. I'm not going to say anything on that one. And then we've got Sheffield United away, last game of the season. We have to win that game. So if we win 2 of those games, the teams behind us can't catch us. So I think we finished 5th. All in all, that's a decent first season for Ange Postecoglou. Some good signs, things to work on. Losing 4 in a row. I've not gone crazy. Obviously, I'm annoyed and I'm upset. I never like to see my team lose, but I do understand the context behind it and what's going on. So I've not been one of these guys to go crazy and literally overdo it. These things happen, man, especially in your first season. And obviously with what's going on, frustrating, I know, but there are reasons behind it. Ange, tactical problem. Yeah, Ange does need to. Sorry, let me actually click the comment and put it on the screen. Yeah, Ange tactically does need to adapt and does need to sort a few things out. And I'm hoping as well, just like players adapt and players get better, I'm hoping Ange can do that. He's got the signs, but we'll see. Time will tell. Matthew, big shout out to you, man. I hope you're good and I hope you're enjoying your bank holiday on Monday. Thanks for tuning in. And again, he's popped up with a comment. I like Ange. He needs a better squad. Hopefully Levy listens to him. Yeah, he does need a better squad. Definitely he needs some better players. And yeah, I hope so. Like I was saying it on Last Word on Spurs yesterday that I need to see Ange being backed. I want to see him here for 4, 5, 6 years. Like the best clubs keep their managers, they invest in their managers, they back their managers, and they keep them for a while. We can't keep chopping and changing every time there's adversity, and that's why, for me, I don't understand anyone that's saying Ange out yet. He's had a good season. He's had a decent season. Yes, it's frustrating because we were in the top 4 for a big chunk of the season. We were 3rd for most of the season, then 4th, and then obviously we've fallen away. So I understand the frustrations from that side. But when you look at what's going on in the squad, the amount of injuries that we had at the same time, we lost key players to AFCON, key players to the Asia Cup and Nations. Like there's a lot going on as well. So yeah, I just feel obviously the scheduling as well hasn't helped at certain times, but there's definitely signs there. Ange has shown that he's got something about him, but it's just whether he'll be backed. And when you look at Arsenal, Arteta's been there for 5 years now. Jurgen Klopp, I believe, has been at Liverpool for 8 years. He's just about to go. And Pep Guardiola's been there for around about the same time. So when you look at the 3 best teams, there are similarities there. They invest in their managers and they keep them around. If Ange finishes the season, which he obviously will do, it's the first time since 18-19 that we've had a manager complete a full Premier League season. Conte came in after 10 games and obviously left last year before Southampton or after Southampton. So he didn't see out a full season. Nuno was only here for 10 games, won 5, lost 5, and he was given the chop. Obviously, you've had Ryan Mason, Stellini, and all of that stuff. Jose Mourinho, when he was last here, I don't think he lasted the full season. So it's crazy. So yeah, we need stability. Like we need some sort of direction, and there is an imprint there. There needs to be a clear plan and a clear vision. You go out and try and attract some good players and tell them that the manager's going to be here to stay. He's going to play this brand of football. And we're going to invest in the team to go further. And then you take it from there. Like there will be bumps, and it's not always going to be plain sailing. We've definitely had a few bumps this season. So hopefully if Ange does learn from these mistakes, learn from what's going on around him, then the team will get better. But that's down to Daniel Levy. And obviously, you know, my stance on Daniel Levy, I don't like the guy. I feel we'd be a better footballing team without him. He's done great things for the footballing, for Spurs as an infrastructure, as a business. But ultimately, I'm a football fan and I like to see the team progress and do better. And I have big question marks on what he really deems as success. Does he deem success as the business model and the stadium making X amount of money and Beyonce and Burna Boy and Wizkid and Guns N' Roses and Pink and Lady Gaga, F1, NFL, rugby, does he deem that a success, or does he deem Tottenham actually winning trophies and competing a success? Because the latter is what I care about. I think the other stuff is great if the football's good, and it's fantastic that you've got a self-sustaining model that will bring the club business and bring the club brand awareness, and put us on the forefront when you're broadcasting games in America and Asia and doing all of that. But when I'm seeing us squabble for a couple million here or there, we're not really going for the top targets, and we're always sniffing around teams that are struggling and need to obviously offload players for financial reasons, and we're just not showing that intent to really solidify the team and make it stronger. That's what grinds my gears. I need to see the manager backed. I need to see us go after better players. I need to see us progress year on year now, because we have a good year, then we go back. We're taking one step forward, one step back. I need to see upward trajectory and for us to keep going. And as long as we do that, then cool. But yeah, I mean, obviously I can go on and on and on about that. I hope everyone that tuned in enjoyed what they saw, what they listened to. 3 games left. Season's essentially done now, which is cool. And yeah, good day to you all. I bid you all a good week. I bid you all a good weekend. If you're down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday, hopefully I bump into as many of you as possible. I'll be there for both. I'm always there anyway. I don't know why I'm saying it like this, but I'll be there for the Burnley game and the Man City game. And yeah, man, just quickly get through the comments, and then I'm gonna let you guys get on with your day. If we chop and change managers again, it'll be so hard to attract quality. Exactly. So I think Ange's got a system which players will enjoy playing with, as long as there's some sort of defensively. I do think we need to shape up, because I feel sometimes we're hanging players out to dry defensively, so that needs to change. But with a few tweaks, I feel you can attract good players playing this brand of football, and also if the team is showing signs of progression, finishing 5th and then going again. So yeah. And I guess Colin said, can we, Pat? So I guess he's alluding to us catching Aston Villa, because obviously they've got 2 games left and we've got 3. And if they lose their games and we win all 3, the problem for me is that if we beat Manchester City, that essentially hands Arsenal the league. And obviously we don't want to see Arsenal win the league. So for me, that's a game I want to see us lose. I'm sorry to say it. Like, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? So that's a tough one. If we had done okay in the other games, then it would be all right. But the fact that we haven't, that's a game I don't want to see us pick. The annoying thing is now, it's like the players will have to play for some sort of pride, and they may have to actually go out and show some sort of endeavour. But that's a game I don't want to see us win, man, because Arsenal are so close to the winning this Premier League, and they've only got 2 games left. Man City have got 3, and obviously one of their games is versus us. So we've put ourselves in a really awkward situation by not winning any of the 4 last games. So essentially, as much as I'd love to say we can, I don't want to see us do it, unfortunately. So yeah, but anyway, with that, I'm out. Like I said, my name is Patrick Tyrant. This is Chatty Patty episode 2.8. Just going over the Liverpool and Spurs game. I'll catch you definitely during the week. I'll be on Saeed's Best of the Rest tomorrow. Not sure what else I'm on for the rest of the week, but I'm here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, follow me on the socials: Twitter, Patrick Tyrant, Instagram, Patrick Tyrant. Obviously, my podcast here. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll catch you all soon. So yeah, take care. God bless, and have a good week.